quiet now. They were making truck sounds a minute ago. And I was just live on Creepbusters a minute ago. I was doing like a Q&A thing, and then I was about to show the chat logs of the catch that I just got. And I was like putting them together on my computer while I was talking on live stream, and and then my phone overheated right when I'm about to show the chat logs. And like it wasn't that hot either, and like I was only on live for like 15 minutes maybe or something like that, maybe longer than that. But my phone wasn't that hot though, and like it'll overheat. Like it's always like overheating, and like it'll just like slow up and freeze up. Like I can't click anything on it. But like sometimes it'll overheat to where it's like it has to cool down before I can do anything. Like it just has a button that says emergency. Like it'll let me call 911 if it's an emergency, but other than that, like it won't. Like it just like locks me on my phone basically. And it goes into like overheating mode. And it did that. And every time it does that, it's like at a synced up moment when it overheats like that. I did it one time when I was on Creepbusters. I was talking about Joe Biden sniffing babies, and it started to overheat right at that moment. But then today, it started to overheat right when I was about to show the chat logs on that video. It just always overheats at specific moments like that. Whenever it does it, it doesn't do it that often, but whenever it does it though, it's doing it synced up. So that happened today. When I got off the live this morning, the live that I made on here this morning in my apartment, like I go and I click on it to share it or whatever, and there's a car outside going honk honk, and like, and then somebody like made a banging sound in the apartment next to me, like right after that, and then just stuff like that, and then just hear, and then like right after I turned off the live stream, like I heard a car just driving up, like pulling up, and it's like rainy out there too, so like their tires are louder too, but like they'll just pull up out there, like right outside my window. It's just a car pulling up, but like just right after that, right after I cut the video off. I was hear a car rolling up synced, and just all different, just any type of sound imaginable. Just a car rolling up and parking right outside my apartment window, or just a white truck driving up to the intersection right now when I walk up to the window. And then every time I go to the library, they always have children in there gang stalking me, and a lot of the time they'll bring in mentally handicapped people there. There's a bunch of whiteys right now. There's one driving by me with the whiteys on the street back there. But they bring the mentally handicapped people in the library sometimes. And whenever they're in there, like a lot of them are gang stalking me, and they'll just like walk completely in my way, and they like and like they're mentally handicapped, so like they can just use that as an excuse, so they can just do more more stalkered up stalker things. Just like get like in my face. And like I can't get mad at them though, you know, because they're mentally retarded, but they're also stock-tarded. And it's very stock-tarded. There's no offense to actual mentally retarded people, but it is though. And then like the whole time I was sitting in the library, there's just people walking by me, like, and they'd like be like staring at me when they walk by me, or they just like stop next to me and then like point next to me. They're like pointing at something like through the window or whatever. And they just come up and stand next to me and then walk away when someone else walks out of the bathroom or whatever. Just the whole time I'm sitting there. So yeah. I don't know what else to say, man. It's just stalkered up. Like the silver cars coming to park on the side of the street, and right when it parks, the heater on my wall clicks. And then there's two more silver cars driving out and a black car. And right after it parked. And then there's a whitey and a FedEx, and the guy's getting out of the silver car, and he has a red hat on. And then there's another whitey, and then there's another whitey in a black truck with the whitey, and then there's more stalkers, a bunch of them. And then the guy's walking up with his red hat, and then he's gonna go in the door synced with a whitey that was syncing with other whiteys before he went in the door. But yeah, hit my Cash App if you can, guys. Anything helps. Anything. There's a 64 truck driving by me, and there's a whitey driving out at the same time. And then when the whitey gets to the intersection, the AC machine outside my apartment turned on. And then there's someone coming out and opening a dumpster lid, and they're probably doing it synced with all these stalkers on the street. And they probably walked up to it synced or something stock-tarded. Because every time they're opening and closing this dumpster over here is synced. I've never seen this guy before, but I don't know. He closed it and nothing happened there, so maybe he wasn't syncing. But usually when I see that dumpster open and close, it's synced. So I don't know. Maybe it wasn't that time. But it probably was. And then there's a white SUV driving out, and then he's gonna sync with a car. Is it a blue car? I think it was a blue car, and then it synced with a red car. And then there's a guy walking out that probably got out of his car synced or something. I didn't see where he came from or what, but he probably did it synced though. And then there's more sync heads with the white sync heads on the street. there's someone walking out with their child, and they're getting in a tan van. And it's gonna be a sinkhead, right? Is it gonna sink with their children in the car? There's a bunch of whiteys on the street, and there's a banging noise going off with the whiteys meeting each other. And then there's black and silver cars, and they're all syncered up. And then there's this loud white truck driving by, and then he's syncing with the tow lift van. And then it's gonna drive around the corner, and then nothing, and then something in 3, 2, 1. Now, stock. I think these cars driving by are stalkers, maybe 3 of them. I think they were. And then she's coming around the tan van now. She's getting in as this white truck is getting to the intersection. She's closing the door of the tan van. And then there's a white SUV, and then it's gonna meet this white truck at the intersection. And then there's a bunch of other cars driving out when they meet each other at the intersection. And then, when's the tan van gonna take off? I'm just waiting for the tan van to take off. When's the tan van with their children in the back seat gonna take off? Is it gonna be after all these whiteys drive by? Now it's taking off. There's like 5 whiteys on the street, at least. Alright, she's taking off right as the last whitey truck turns into the parking lot, and there's this bird flying over them that looks synced with them, and then there's a silver car that looks synced with the whitey. And then this other car is backing up next to me right as the whitey gets to the other end of the parking lot and drives out of the parking lot. It's right next to me, and I think it had a 911 license plate, perhaps. But I couldn't see it quick enough. It took off before I could really see it. But I think it had a 911 on the license plate. But whatever it had, it was a sink head syncing up perfectly with the other sink heads. And then there's other sink heads, and they're all synced up with the other sink heads, and it's black and silver sink heads, a lot of them. And someone got in a black car parked on the side of the street, synced with all the black and silver sink heads. And they're taking off, and then they get to the corner when a red car drives out, and a black car. And then the red car syncs with the other red car. And then there's a guy walking out, and then there's a bunch of other cars driving out, and they're all sink heads. These black cars syncing with each other with a tan car at the same time, and then he's getting into his car. And then there was a white SUV at the end of the cars, and there was probably another stalker, and he synced up with the last car or something. And then there's another whitey with another whitey, and there's a banging noise at the same time. This guy's getting back out of his car at the same time and walking back across the parking lot. And then when he walks around the other corner, someone else is walking out from another corner behind another building. Stock fest out there. So yeah, hit my Cash App if you can, guys. Later.